Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're starting today protocol independent routing. That is basically static routes. So we have already completed a static route in different way. There is different options in the static route. We already checked in our lab. So just now I ask you some question regarding previous classes. Number one, review knowledge here is in slide number 11. They are asking what is next stop and what is the qualified next stop. Okay, can you explain, anyone, can you explain what is next stop and what is the qualified next stop, or what is the difference between next stop and qualified next stop? Hello, guys.
Qualified next stop means we set preference priority. If one route, if we use next stop and qualified next stop, in that case qualified next stop is win, which is active, I think, which is get fast priority.
Mhm. Okay. But if I just set the preference, not defining the qualified next stop, that will be same for both next stop. That is the reason to define the qualified next stop. Thanks. Then next question is basically there is one question, which static routes can be exported into WSPF. Now that is basically no, the option is no re-advertise. Can you explain why we use no re-advertise in static route? Can you explain what is the reason?
If we use no re-advertise, in that case that prefix will not be advertised, and we cannot found that route that that prefix in route table from next stop router.
Okay, that's correct. There is a scenario. There is multiple static route in router one, and one static route have no re-advertise options. That means this prefix not re-advertised to any other dynamic routing protocol. So we can use no re-advertise considering management interface or management traffic. Last one is it's about
As
it's about
sorry, I interrupt you. I didn't get the no re-advertise. Can you please explain a little bit more? No re-advertise about the benefit
no
of this.
re-advertise. Okay, stay here. So in consider in your environment there is two types of traffic. One is production traffic and another one is management traffic. You know that management traffic means your device is connected one simple management switch from your device management through the device management interface. Okay, you just manage your device. You can mention here management means you can log in those devices through this management port. Management protocol will be telnet or SSH, or you can collect data from those devices through the SNMP. Just you maintain the SNMP based monitoring tools. So in that case, if you want to not advertise your route, that is management route, not re-advertise to another dynamic routing protocol like BGP. So this prefix will not advertise through the BGP, and customer will not getting or will not get this those prefix. That is the separation between management traffic and the production traffic. If you want to separate So you can define no re-advertise options in a static route.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Last one is it's basically a static route concept. Just if you want to advertise some prefixes through the OSPF, so see here one export policy is exported in under OSPF routing protocol, and the policy is to in from section, policy have two section, basically two section. One section is from, another section is then. From means you matching the traffic. You can match protocol, you can match prefix. Okay, and action is you can accept, you can discard, or any other actions or modifier you can define. So see here, which static routes can be exported into OSPF. There is two options here. Matching here two options. One option is protocol, another one is route filter. So first one is static. Route must be static. Route must be installed through the static routing protocol in your router. Number one condition is this. And another condition is a route prefix must be /16 or longer. Or longer means /16 up to /32. If those prefixes installed in your route table through the static routing protocol, then those prefix will be permitted and those prefix will be advertised to another OSPF routing domain router. So basically there is AND operation between static, that means between protocol and the prefix. And another option is all longer. All longer means you define the prefix /16 and just consider the IPv4 that will be maximum /32. All longer means /16 up to /32. So see here, your number of route is 12.0, 13.0, 16.0, 20.0/24. All are 24. Here we see four prefixes here. Four prefixes here. So if I just advertise from R1 to OSPF member router, which prefix will be permitted. So see here 17 to 29, 17 to 29, 00/16. So see here 12.0, 13.0, and another one is 16 and 20. So all prefix, right? All prefix will be advertised from R1 to OSPF domain router. So this is all about static route. So now we discuss aggregate routes. Today we discuss aggregate routes. Aggregate means just you summarize some specific routes to one. It's called the aggregate routes. If you want to advertise more specific route to your API stream, like consider you have /22, you have one single API stream, one single API stream. So there is no need to advertise your prefix as a /24. If you advertise summarize prefix or aggregate prefix /22, you will get internet and other services, no issue. Okay, so this is the concept of aggregate routes. If I maintain the aggregate routes, then we can optimize our internet route table. You know already our IPv4 internet route table around 8 lakhs plus minus routes. So if route increase, your device resource will be higher. This is the consideration in respect to number of routes. So what are aggregate routes? What are aggregate routes? Aggregate means I already tell you. This is the summarize or supernating route. So manually defined route that represent a collection of more specific routes, typically used to reduce the number of route advertisement. This is the one number of reason. Another is internet routing instability can be hidden from external peers. That means consider here, if just consider router 1. From router 1, you advertise 0.0/24, 1.0 and 2.0 is the specific prefix from R1 to internet service provider. If one network goes down, consider here there are 3 data center. You are just maintain 3 data center 1, data center 2, and data center 3. If data center 1 goes down, your prefix will not advertise towards your ISP. So this route will be withdrawn in internet route table. So in that case, if you advertise your prefix from your router to service provider router, this basically this route will be in regular pattern. After some time, it may be 10 minutes or it may be 15 minutes. It takes time to popularize all over the internet route table. So it takes time. It may be 5 minutes or it may be 10 minutes. So for just considering routing instability, we can advertise aggregate routes. That will be perfect. So aggregate route, basically this route is originated in advertised router. You can say in R1. That route is not assigned in a specific data center. This route is also called the null route in Cisco system or in Cisco routing. There is a question about aggregate route or supernating. See here, first one is tick. That means first one is correct and second one is wrong. Could you say why first one is correct and second one is wrong? Anyone? Hello.
Subnet /20,
Mhm.
14.0 and 15.0, this 2 block is in /20 subnet.
How? How? This is the basically concept of subnetting or VLSN. So see here /20. So /20 means your subnet will be next subnet will be if you have /20. That means
Sir,
20. Yeah.
sir, here is the 20. Here is the 4-bit available for network, and here's the total the number of 16 /24. So here is the last
Yes.
network
Yeah.
is 15. So that
Perfect.
the last 16 and 17 is out of the range.
Out of the range. Perfect. /20 means you just see here /20 is in third octet and third octet last number is 24. So what is the difference? 24 and 20. The difference is 4. So we calculate the subnetting in binary format. So if I consider here in binary calculation, the base is 2, 2 for 4 is 16. That means your first subnet will be 0.0/20 and next
Training
subnet
volgen.
will be 16.
Training.
16. Ja.
Huh? Heb je me nodig?
Hello.
Heb je me
Hello.
nodig?
Ramon.
Oh, sorry, I was
Please,
mute.
please.
Sorry for it. Sorry.
Please mute. Please mute. Please mute.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So first subnet is 0.0/20 and second subnet will be 16.0/20. So first two prefix 14 and 15 will be in first subnet. Will be in first subnet. Okay. So that is correct. And this is the first sub 0.0/20. And 16 and 17 will goes to next subnet. That is second subnet. That's why that is wrong. If I write here 10.1.16.0/20, then this one will be correct and this one will be wrong. Clear? This is the concept of subnetting on PLS.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Listen. Okay. The configuration, how to configure aggregate routes. First, we have to go in routing options. It can be virtual router, it can be logical router, or you can just configure in globally. So you have to first go the routing options, then set the static route. So in same directory, you set the aggregate routes. See here, there the specific prefix /24 and specific prefix is 001020. If I summarize those three prefixes, we can say this aggregate prefix will be 00/22. This is the aggregate prefix. If I configure the aggregate prefix in R1, so first we have to go to the edit routing options and set the aggregate routes. So how to configure this one? See here. Show route protocol aggregate. This is basically the output, not the configuration. Configuration will be this. The configuration is just you will go to the routing options, then set aggregate route and define the aggregate route. In aggregate route, you can add as community, you can add as other options, discard, reset, SPath, preference, all are available, which is in static routes. Okay, so default aggregate route preference is 130. Default route preference for aggregate route is 130. This is the 130. And default action is reset. It is the default preference and next stop for aggregate routes. Next stop is reset. This is aggregate route. There is, see here, this is the aggregate route. This route have no next stop. This route have next stop, but this route have no next stop. So that's why the next stop is reset. So if see here, there are three contributing route. If any one, if at least one is live, aggregate route will work. If no specific route, that means every specific route goes down, then aggregate route will not work. That means there at least one contributing route will be up, then aggregate route will work. So see here, aggregate route must have at least one contributing route. So see here is the how to define the aggregate route. So go to our lab and set the aggregate route here. So see, our prefix. If I define aggregate route in Juniper router 2, in Juniper router 2, see here, one route is here, 10.1.1.0/24. 10.1.1.0/24. So I consider here three routes. Maybe it's maybe 10.1. (32.0/24). This is 1. (34), and this is 35. Three prefixes. Consider here. In router 1, just consider there is 3 LAN. One LAN is connected 32.0/24. Another is 34.0. Last one is 35.0. Those prefixes are connected in router 1. We can configure those prefixes in loopback interface for testing. So configure this one. Set routing set interface hello 0 unit 0 family INET address. My address is 10.1.32.1 32.1/24. This first subnet, and second subnet is 34, and last subnet is 35. Okay, this 3 connected subnet is in router 1. If I want to raise this 3 subnet, I have to make the static route from router 2. I have to make a static route from router 2. So I can
Sir, sorry to interrupt. So why you use loopback address here? Loopback interface.
Loopback interface. Basically, see here in PPC1 is directly connect with Juniper router 1. You can consider this is a LAN, and LAN subnet is 10.1.1.0/24. So if I connect another LAN and connect 32.0/24, connect another LAN 34, connect another LAN with router 1 35.0/24. Okay, so there this take time. Okay, that's why I simply assign single IP addresses in loopback interface for testing. Nothing else.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay. So if you want to raise 32.1 from Juniper router 2 without routing, is it possible? Is it possible to raise 32.1 from router 2? Possible?
No, sir.
No.
Not possible.
No.
Not possible. So you have to make the static route or any other routing protocol. So we're discussing static route. So if I make static route from Juniper router 2 to reach the router 1 loopback interface subnet 32, 34, and 35, it will make sense and it will work. Okay. So I want to make aggregate route. I want to make aggregate route. Okay. See here, my next stop is router 1. My next stop is router 1. There will be a multiple next hop. There will be multiple router. Consider 32 will come from one router, 34 will come from another router, 35 will come from other router, no issue. So see, in a router 2, edit, routing, options, set, aggregate, set aggregate. If you want to change default setting, if you want to change default setting of the start aggregate route, you can change here. You can change preference, you can change metric, you can change community, or you can set community. So first, see here. So there is a community applied in aggregate routes. This is the default community. If I want to say it, here is two options. One is, this one is for all aggregate routes, and this one is specific aggregate routes. This route attach this community tag, but this route will attach the default tag, default community tag. So number one, if I set any options, you can set preference, you can set community, you can set AS path, you can set metric. We already discussed in last classes. So if you want to set the default preference or anything, you can set here, no issue. So just check this sample example. So set here community value. You can set well-defined community, or you can set user-defined community. So in example, the community value is 180. This is default. This is default. Aggregate defaults. If I set a static route, set aggregate, then set the route. Route is, you set the destination. You set the destination. If I say my topology, my destination is 10.1.32.0/22. So this is the aggregate route. This is the aggregate route. There is no next stop here. There is no next stop here. So commit this one. If I see this route, run show route, my route is this one. See, any route? I see any route here.
No, sir.
So what is the reason? What is the reason? I said aggregate route, but not installed in route table. I configure aggregate route, but not installed in routing table. Anyone?
Is it
See
for
here, there is no next stop
community
here.
value?
Huh?
Is it for community value?
No. Community is just an option. The answer is aggregate routes must have at least one contributing route. Must have at least one contributing route. You just aggregate this route as a /22, but your specific route is 32 34.0/24, 34.0/24, 35.0/24. So you have one contributing route.
Got
Okay, so you need one contributing route. So set routing, set static route. My route is 10.1.32.0/24, and the next hop I consider here the primary link, and the primary link IP is 10.1.0.1. In router 1 side, the IP is 0.1 and the 0.2 is in router 2. So next hop is 0.1. So count this one. There is a contributing route. So check the aggregate route now. Yet not working. What is this?
We
Maybe
put the
next.
wrong IP. It's a typo, sir. Show route is 10.1/.32. It's a typo.
Oh, typing mistake.
Typing mistake. One is missed.
Say here, typing mistake. But first time we type same. Okay, so edit routing options, show here, and delete this, deactivate this route to checking again, deactivate static route is this, route is toggle. So this route is now deactivated. See here, this route is now deactivated. You just configure aggregate routes. Your aggregate route is this one. You just commit and check run show route. Your aggregate route is this one. So see, this route is not installed in route table. It's not installed in route table. So say the hidden route table, and the hidden route table you say this is your aggregate route. Say here aggregate, and the action is reset. This is the default. Okay, the default action is reset. So show route protocol aggregate. If I run show route protocol aggregate, hidden, yes, getting this one. This is the same result. Okay, so now this is our aggregate route here. So need one contributing route. So need one contributing route. So 10.1.32.0/24. This is the contributing route. So first set the next hop from ping. The next hop is one. My source is 2. So it not working basically. Next hop is not working. If next hop is not working, so this route will not basically installed in route table. This is one reason. Okay, so first checked the next hop. So first activate route, activate is static route. This one, I activate this route now. So my route is now activated. Then place the commit and see the interface is 0/0/0 shown as JA.0/0/0. What is the configuration? Your configuration is 10.1.0.2 is the IPv4 address, and the interface is traceable. Interface is traceable. That is the reason not getting point to point. So delete the disable, then commit again and check our P2P is working or not. Now check P2P. Yes, my P2P is working now, and my contributing route, that means specific route, will be installed in route table. Okay, my specific route is installed in route table. So what is the status of aggregate route now? So see here, my aggregate route installed in my route table. This route is not hidden because you have minimum one contributing route. If I remove the contributing route or contributing route goes down, aggregate route will not work. Clear? The concept of aggregate route?
Yes.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. So you can attach community, S-path, and other options like static route with aggregate routes. No issue. You already know this one. So we already assign S-path community metric. Today I will show you how to set policy in static route. You can set policy, okay, in aggregate route. So this is the example, basically verification command. So if I set this extensive, I can also see this one. So maximize this one. So first one is aggregate route. First one is aggregate route. This is /22 and aggregate route preference is 130 and next up is reject. Next up is reject. I set the community value here. This is the community. Which one I attached and see the contributing routes. There is one contributing route. There is one contributing route. So there will be multiple contributing route, but we'll have minimum one, at least one. Then aggregator route will work and installed in your route table.
Sir, one
Okay.
question. So what's the purpose of this community in the output?
Community. Basically, community will apply in various cases, like consider you have multiple app stream, okay? Like you are just connected with Hurricane, you are just connected with Cosent, okay? So you just want to apply the community value in your infrastructure and just assign one community value and automatically those route will advertise through Cogent, automatically will and this route will advertise through Hurricane, okay? And another example is you already know the RT base, BGP, that means remote trigger black hole. You know regarding this or this is known to you, RT base? Joker 9.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
So
So just globally, you are just making a scrubbing system. Okay. So this will work like this. If you are affected with DDoS attack, you send your affected prefix through the BGP. So if those prefix attach a community value, those prefix are separated from the internet route table. Okay.
okay.
I get just I'm the another ISP or service provider which is connected the same boxes which provide this RT-based solution. So consider 5 or 10 service provider is connected with the same boxes If one is affected, those affected service provider advertise those affected prefix towards the boxes. Okay. Boxes will acknowledge those prefixes are affected. And those prefix is automatically advertised with other service provider, and they will know which one is affected.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, you know who is prefix affected, and basically this is a source-based RT-base. If I make global, so think global, like in our world, there is lot of internet service provider. If you consider, just you make a box, BGP box. This box will speak through the BGP. This box will collect the affected prefixes. So if I'm an attacker, or I am the initiator of DDoS attack, so if I initiate the attack, so I am obviously use one service provider. If connected service provider already know those the attacker, so if detect the attacker will be dropped immediately. So this total process is working working like a community, all are in a community, all device learn, route and match those community, and if those community matches, those route will be discarded in my route table. So in that case, the attacker immediately drop their packet. Service provider drop the attacker packet immediately, or immediate service provider. So you can say this is one application of BGP community.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Okay.
I have a question.
Hmm.
What is the actual reason to use aggregate route?
Aggregate route. Actual reason is if want to it's maybe um, you have maintained one infrastructure, you consider your topology, and the higher that means for aggregation, those router have lots of resources, those are heavy router, and you connect some small range router in your POP, because those router have little customer connected with little customer, and that's why you just install the low resource router in POP side. So this POP side basically, or POP router basically will not handle lots of route. So if you want to aggregate this route from aggregation router or core router, and advertise those POP router, this POP router will handle it smoothly. There will be one reason to aggregate those prefixes.
And also,
So
sir, it will reduce the routing table size, right?
yes, of course, reducing routing table size. It can be internet global route. It can be in your organization local route. Okay.
Sir, if
Clear?
if I don't use the aggregate, but we can this work with the only origin is /22 at the router 2, right? Only discard.
Only discard, yes. Only discard you can use. Only discard you can use. Only discard means this prefix installed in your route table.
Right.
No issue. No issue. Okay. You can use.
Okay.
Just you configure the static route as the summarized route. No issue. You can use this one.
Okay.
But there is another option. See here, there is another option.
But
You
those
can choose.
was for the same reason, purpose, serve the same purpose, right?
Right, same purpose.
Okay.
If you just create a policy, you can say you have to match the static route. See, when you discard, only you set the static route discard option. Those are static route, not the aggregate route. Clear?
Right.
So you
Clear.
want to advertise those prefixes whose are aggregate route. If you match this with your policy, that will be flexible for you. Normally,
Right.
just you connect one customer. Customer have some public IP addresses, and you are just using only static route there. So you just static routes those prefixes towards your customer. If you match the static route for policy to advertise the upstream, if you match the static route, so this static route, that means it may be /29, it may be /30. Those are matches in your policy. Okay, if I different, just differentiate static and aggregate. These are separate.
Right.
So if you use any other policy attaching aggregate route, attaching static route, there's multiple options. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So there is aggregate route. And next is generated routes. Basically, aggregate route and generated route have multiple similarities. It's the same way we can use aggregate route and generated route. So the basic difference is forwarding next hop, which is the next hop associated with the primary contributing route. So you have contributing route in aggregate route, right? In aggregate route, there is no contributing route. Aggregate route will not install in your route table. That is clear?
On the hidden route. Yes.
Okay. So generated routes, see here, key difference is the use of forwarding next hop, which is the next hop associated with the primary contributing route. And one is see this is the contributing route, right? /24, this is the
Right.
contributing route, right? The
Right.
contributing route, there is a next hop. There is the next hop. See here. Contributing route, there is a next hop. See here, there is a next hop. But
Yes.
aggregate route, there is no next hop. Next hop is reset. Okay, next hop is reset. So see here. This is a topology. Consider Juniper router 3 is a service provider. Consider this. This is a service provider. And service provider have their, consider this is the DNS server IP of this service provider. You are just making a policy. If this prefix is reachable from my router, then this router install the default route. this router install the default route. So if I make the default route as the aggregate route, if I make default route as a aggregate route, so this router will not go to the internet service provider. So there is a need, a next hop for default route. If default route have next hop, then I will go to the internet. So the aggregate route and generate route, the difference is generate route have next hop. Generate route have next hop. How will get this next hop? Generate route will get next hop from contributing a route next hop. Generate route will use the next hop of contributing route. But aggregate route will not use next hop from contributing route. This is the basic difference between generated routes and the aggregate routes. See here,
Sir,
this is the default route. See here, this is the default route. This is the default route. So default route, this is obviously aggregate route because the preference is 130. See here, there is the next hop. And one contributing route. And contributing route is coming through BGP. Coming through BGP. You are just getting one prefix through BGP. There must have next hop. Because next hop is mandatory attribute of BGP. There is no next hop. So this prefix will not come in your route table through BGP. We already know this one, right?
right.
So
Sir,
the
I have a
difference.
question.
Okay.
If we receive two aggregate routers /24 from two different routers, what will they select the next hop as the generator?
Again.
If we receive two different routes from the two different router
We are getting two routes from different router.
with two next hop, right?
In that case, in that scenario, we should not use the generated routes.
Okay.
Okay, so how to set? Now I configure show route hidden. This basically aggregate route. So generate routes are similar to aggregate route. Key difference is the user forwarding next hop, which is the next hop associated with the primary contributing route. Can be used to generate a route for a route of last resort of a default route when required conditions are met. You can remember just if you configure the voice web and PCP in Cisco have one options default originate. That means those devices create the default route and advertise to neighbor. It's maybe BGP, it's maybe OSP.
Right.
So those route is the generated routes. Those route is the generated route, and you can set the multiple conditions. If I getting default route from upstream through BGP, I will advertise my downstream router. If I not get, I'm not advertise. So there is a option. There is multiple option to set the condition. So see here. I show you one example with condition. See here. This is the service provider. I'm just configure BGP in router 1 and router 4. If I get this route /16, if I get this route, R1 will install the default route. There is a condition. If service provider advertise one specific route, specific route, then I install the default route, and those default route will advertise through the dynamic routing protocol. Okay, so in that case, we can configure the generated route. See here, this is the same place for generated routes. So edit the routing options and set the generate defaults. You can set the preference and see here the default route without next hop. There is a default route without next hop. This is the generated routes. This is just generated routes. So how to configure the generated routes? This is same as the aggregate route. This is same as aggregate route. So see here. Here I set the policy. Here I set the policy. Policy is first policy just matching the prefix. Matching the prefix. Prefix is coming from BGP and the prefix will be /16. If yes, then set the default route accept, and this export default now attached in OSPF. So there is a condition. There is a condition. Route, say here, route and attach the policy. In a static route, in generated route, attach the policy. The policy is this one. This policy matches the specific route. If yes, condition is true, default route will generate. Default route will generate, and those default route advertised for the OSPF. So if I check this configuration in our topology, say here. So router 3, I think there is a BGP. Run show BGP summary. I'm getting 2 prefix in router 3. So in router 1 and router 2, we're making OSPF. We're configure OSPF between router 1 and router 2. Just for showing this example, but we will discuss detail in later classes. OSPF will be detailed in later classes. Okay, so just configure static OSPF routing between router 1 and router 2 is the very simplest way. Just consider the default area. Router 1 and router 2 is in default area. So edit routing options. There is multiple static route here, I think. IPv6, IPv4. Okay, so delete everything. Delete everything. Every static route deleted from here. Top. From this one. Router 2. Edit routing options. Then there is autonomous system and router ID. So need to delete a specific RIB 986. First delete this one and delete static. So show and delete the aggregate. Delete aggregate. So now router ID and S number is here. So comment this one. So consider delete this one. Consider router 1 and router 2 is in OSPF area 0, and I configure the OSPF routing protocol here. So set or edit protocol OSPF, set area 0. My interface is loopback 0.0.0, and loopback is passive. And my connected interface is 0 and 2, GE dash 0 by 0 by 0, and interface type will be P2P. Just say this one, but I will discuss detail in voice web section. Okay, 02. So this is the connected interface in router 1. Another interface is this is the line interface basically, G0 by 0 by 1, and those line interface will be passive. Okay, so this is the simplest voice web configuration. Then from this one, edit protocol voice web, set area 0, interface 0, passive, and other interface is router to other interface is G 0 by 0 by 0. Interface type is P2P. Another interface is 2. Another interface is 2, and line interface is 1. Line interface is 1, and that will be passive. So this one, run show voice web neighbor. So my voice web is up and running. So say here, so route 0 by 0 exact. So there is no default route here. There is no default route. There is no default route in router 1 and router 2. Okay, router 1 and router 2. There is no default route. So first task is generate a default route. Generate a default route. How to generate a default route? Very simple. Just generate defaults. Generate route, then default routes. So make this one. In edit routing options, so set generate and generate route. Route is you define the default route here. Okay. So you generate the default route here. Okay. Then set the comment. That's okay. So just check this one. Run show route 0 by 0 exact. This default route is installed. Default route is installed. There is no need of contributing route. Default route is generated, and this is the basically aggregate, and 130, and there is an next hop. 10101, there is a next hop. Okay, there is a next hop. Automatically define this next hop, and consider here Z0 by 0 by 0. That means Z0 by 0, this interface. This is automatically generated next hop. Automatically generated next hop. Okay, so I place here condition. Condition is if I getting 3.0 this prefix through BGP in router 2, then I install the default route, and default route will goes to router 1 through OSPF. So how to make this happen? So first one is you have to make the policy, matching policy. Matching contributing prefix, and matching policy was you just mention your desired prefix or desired protocol, match the desired prefix. So say here 3.0 10.1.3.0 1 show route 10.1.3.0/24. This prefix is installed in router 2. The prefix is this one, and the protocol is BGP. So define a policy. Define a policy. Edit policy option, policy statement. There will be any name, any user defined name. In example, name is mass contributing prefix. You can say this one, mass contributing prefix, prefix prefix. So you have mass, you have to mass the prefix. You can also mass the protocol. Set term from like 100 from protocol BGP. This is a BGP route, so I can write here BGP from route filter. Route filter is this prefix 3.0. There will be accept, then accept, and other than reset. So, okay, 3.0/24. This prefix will come through BGP from neighbor. So this is a mass contributing. That means this is a logic. That means this is a logic. So just edit routing options. So attach this one, set generate route 0.0, and you can set the policy. You can set the policy. But in aggregate route, set the route 0.0. There is also a policy for generate and aggregate. Both have policy options. So generate route 0.0, and you can attach the policy. This is the conditional policy. This is the conditional policy. So attach this policy one. So you are attaching policy with the static route. You are attaching policy with your generator static route. Okay. Then edit protocol JNCIS-SP. There is no export policy here. So if I advertise, if I want to advertise some prefix which is not in JNCIS-SP route table, there is another route table. So this is the generated route. This is basically the static route. This routing information source is different. This route will not advertise automatically in JNCIS-SP route protocol. So there will be a I have to apply the export policy here. So export default IPv4 default IPv4. So I attach one policy name is default IPv4, but this policy yet not defined. So define the policy default IPv4. So set matching the default route. See here, matching the default route. Protocol aggregate and route filter. Set term 100 from protocol. See here, generate. There is any option generate? No, no option. Aggregate means here generate. So generate from route filter. There will be default route. Exact. So the term 100, then accept. The default route is accept. Other prefix will not accept it. Will not accept. So comment this one. See here. Run show route. That means default route. Default route It not coming here. Run show route. No default route is here. No default route is here. So check first. Router 2 have default route. Run show route 0.0. Yes, router 2 have default route. Router 2 have default route, and the next stop is 003. Exact extensive. This is the contributing route 3.0/24 protocol BGP 3.0/24 protocol BGP. This is the interface is 0/0/3. That is correct. And the aggregate route next stop is basically contributing route next stop. So there is a default route, but edit protocol OSPF. See here. Export default IPv4 and edit policy option policy statement. I access here. Oh, action is reset. That is the reason. Set term 100, then expect. Okay. Excellent. So count this one. So check the default route. Yes, getting default route through OSPF routing protocol. And this is the redistributed route. OSPF default preference is 10. So here preference is 150 means this is the redistributed route. So I'm getting the default route. If I just down the 3.0, just I'm messing. If 3.0 is present in Juniper router 2, default route will go to router 1. Now I shut down 3.0/24 this network. So this network is connected in interface, said interface J0/0/0 disable. So my interface is disconnected. My interface is disconnected. So in router 2, there will be route. Run show route. My route is 3.0 10.1.3.0/24 exit. So there is no route. There is no 10.1.3.0/24 route. So what is the option? What is the condition? Default route? No default route here. No default route here. Because I have made, but if I check in router 2, default route, no default route here. Right? No default route installed. No default route installed. If I just making it up, delete the disable, that means of this interface. Say here, this route 3.0 coming and automatically default route coming in OSPF emulator. So all the default route action is happened depends on logic. Depends on logic. You set the logic. You set or you will set the logic. Based on logic, this default route will work. This default route will work or not. So this is another application, another deployment of aggregator generated routes. Any query regarding this example? There's show command basically. Okay, no query. So I'm going to next section, manage machine routes. Basically, machine routes, so this route will not installed in route table. Basically, for IPv4 000/8 or longer, this address is basically not used. That's why those are in Martian route table. 127, 192, 240. For IPv6, there have loopback addresses, reserved and unassigned prefixes, linked local Unicast prefixes. All are in Martian table, or those are the Martian addresses. How to check from router? Just go to your router and just edit routing options and place the command show Martians. Show Martians. Edit routing options. Show Martian. No Martians. Show Martians. And show Martians. So there is no. It's maybe for virtual boxes, but in real hardware, this will be. Martian addresses, show route Martians table inet.0. You can place this command. This is another option to verify. So if I set here, run show route. Run show route Martians table. Martians table name is inet.0. Say here in inet.0, this allowed. Which one is disallowed? This is disallowed because this is reserved. This is not used for any communication. The other prefixes which are disallowed is not basically used for any communication. But this prefix is used for multicast. This prefix is used for multicast. If you want to allow, this is default is disallowed, but you can enable this one. You can enable this one. How to enable this one? Just set Martian, your prefix or longer, then set the allow. And those prefix will be allowed in. And that means those prefix will not disallow in Martian table. Martian table means basically there will be no communication with this prefix. Is the main theme. Those addresses will not use for communication or internet working. Okay, so that's all for today. I will cover module 2. Module 2 was protocol independent routing. So in next class, we'll go dynamic routing. So is there any question regarding protocol independent routing? Anyone?
No, actually
sir.
got it, but I have to practice aggregate route, generate route, then it will be more clear.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, will be there any